Welcome to the OAPN podcast with your host, Adarsh Sakare. No bullshit, no cuts. 100% raw conversations with 0% fucks to give. We don't encourage the consumption of alcohol, but if you want to open up a cold one while you watch this, it's not a bad idea.
So, welcome to episode number 58 of On a Personal Note with Adarsh Sakare. On 57, after quite some time, we had a stand-up comedian. Harman's episode is not yet out. It should be out soon. But today we're going to interview another interesting individual and someone personally we have waited a while to make it happen. But before, of course, I speak a little more about her. Let's say hi to Asha. Hi, Asha.
Hi.
Hi. How are you feeling today?
Great. I'm excited.
You're excited. Okay. Thank you. First of all, thanks for making it here. Like
Thank
I already
you.
mentioned.
Thank you for the invite. I didn't know you waited that long.
We did.
You didn't tell me before.
No, even for us. See, that's been the thing. No, we want to invite certain people at certain times. And we also, anyway, we'll get into that discussion a little later. But yeah, we want you here and we are very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
But anyway, so Asha, the actress, the model, the winner of the pageant, Miss Supranational in 2014. She's, of course, had her role in giving back to society as well through her foundation, Astra Foundation.
Astra. Yeah.
Astra.
Means weapon.
Weapon. Okay.
Weapon to educate, weapon to empower. So, continuous. Astra.
Okay. And I think what's, if there's one thing we've liked about interviewing people who are a celebrity or a public figure who have made their name in the public space, we like it when they still come across as the same people when they started off. And that's the vibe we get from you, that Asha in 2014 and Asha in 2023 is still the same.
Thanks.
And I think that speaks a lot about character, right? So that's one reason we are excited about it. Of course, she's had her, display of fame right from a Hindi movie, Jungly, to Robert, and the Telugu movie was?
Ori
Devuda. Okay. And for a girl who stayed in Bhadravati, and then, on the other side, she's starring across someone like Vidyut sir, I think that itself shows something, right? And that, along with the fact that she still remained very humble and down to earth, and those are things that I think are very inspiring. So we are going to try and dwell into how things came across for Asha and where she is currently in her life. If you know Asha, then you must have seen many interviews of her in the past, but I welcome you to watch this one. If you don't know Asha and if you want to get to know her a little more, I think this is the episode you all should be watching. So Asha, welcome again.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first thing is, right, so when we were doing our research, I didn't know that you spent a large part of your time in Bhadravati because my dad is from Shimoga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we have our roots in Shimoga. In fact, our home, our ancestral home is in Shimoga itself.
Wow.
So we have like a deep connection with Shimoga. We still have family there and we used to visit during summer and everything else. So that made me very happy. But that being said, I think I just want to go back to a very simple question, right? For a girl from Bhadravati to on the sets of movies with Dashan sir and Vidyut sir, do you consider yourself successful?
I mean, yes, if I have to look back on my journey from Bhadravati to Bollywood, and probably now I can call it as Indian film industry because now we've broken, we've transcended the borders and broken all the barriers. So Indian cinema, the journey, yes, I would really pat myself on my back. It's not like I'm keeping my modesty aside and saying all these things, but with humility in my heart, I believe that it's been a long journey and I'm very happy about it. And there's still a long way to go.
Was that always the goal? I mean, to come here? No. I mean...
No, not at all. So I wanted to become a fighter pilot.
Okay, which explains your display picture on
My
WhatsApp.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That's-
because I was going on thinking, what does this picture signify, and then you got it out now.
It's
Okay.
it's a Sukhoi 30 MKI.
Okay.
It's a Russian-built fighter aircraft, but yeah, it's one of my favorite.
Okay.
It's
So you
been
wanted
it's the
to-
same display picture from like 6-7 years. Like all my friends are fed up now. It's like at least put some other plane ka picture. I'm like, oh no, it's my favorite. I'm gonna stick with that.
So you wanted to become a fighter pilot.
Yes, I wanted to, but back then, however, the fighter fleet was not open for women. So it was very up until like I think 2019 or something, or even like 3 years before that, the fighter fleet opened for women in our country. But yeah, but I think life had other plans for me.
Okay.
But cinema was not anywhere in my top 5 list.
Okay. So in school, that fighter pilot dream was there. I'm
Third
guessing.
standard.
Third standard.
There was this serial called Sara Akash
Okay.
on
Yeah, I
Star
remember.
Plus.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
My mom used to watch this.
There was this
Yeah.
girl called Monica Singh. She used to fly these transport fleets. She was a pilot in the show, and I was hooked to that show. Like after coming back from school, I think we were allowed like 2 or max 3 serials
Yeah.
after completing our homework.
Yeah.
And I think this was around like 8:39, like proper dinner time. I used to watch Sara Akash every day. I'm like, I'll become a pilot someday. I want to become a pilot. I want to become like Monica Singh. I'll be a pilot someday. But yeah, that show really inspired me.
Yeah, I remember I mean, 90s kids, I think, apart from cartoons, the only other option was watch the serial that your mom watches, right? I think that was the other entertainment for us.
No,
So I don't-
I am a serial person.
Yeah,
I used to
even
watch Kasauti Zindagi
Yeah,
Ki.
Yeah.
Kyunki
Anurag
Saas Bhi
was the
Kabhi
scene.
Ba-
Prerna was the scene, but that's
Yes.
the biggest heartbreak
Rishabh
that
Bajaj.
exists. Yeah,
Don't
I like
forget
Rishabh.
Bajaj. Yeah.
Rishabh was nice.
Dynamic.
Who would you choose, Anurag or Rishabh?
Shit. Tough
You
question.
have to choose.
Yeah, Rishabh loved
Rishabh?
Prerna, and he stuck with Prerna. Not like Anurag going from Komolika to
Komolika.
Prerna and Prerna. He didn't have a spine. Anurag didn't have a spine. So
Rishabh
yeah,
was
Rishabh Bajaj.
Yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of content of yours, singing and dancing, and you're absolutely wonderful in doing all of that,
Thank
which
you.
I'm also thinking was there during your school time, right?
Yes.
While that happened, there was no thoughts of, hey, you know what, I can become this actress, and maybe that's something I can do, because the talents existed. Because not everyone sings and dances. You do realize that.
No, I don't.
Like
I
it's
never
ki-
saw world that way. I'm like,
Okay.
everyone does it. It was very normal, at least like in my neighborhood. Coming back from school, going to Sangeeta class, dance class, probably art classes on weekend, some chess or like sports and track events, because my mom is an athlete as well. So I used to go for my relay, 100 meters, all these things. But I thought this is like normal, you do something after school. These are the skills that might help you someday in future. But I actually didn't know I can make a career out of it, because I always wanted to be a fighter pilot, and I had like my blinders on.
Focus.
Yeah. And I was like, these will help me someday. And music, dance and everything in your growing up years, it's very, very good for your memory. Like you have to remember so many lyrics, you have to remember the ragas, the talas, and when you're performing, it will actually take your stage fear away. You'll be introduced like to the world. Your interaction with the audience and everything will give you that confidence when you go on stage. And my parents always told me like, these are the skills to develop. Learn it. Might be useful, may not, you never know. But touch wood. Thank you, Amma Appa. Thank you
For introducing
helping
you
me
and
today. Yeah.
developing those skills.
Yes.
How different was in terms of skills between you and your sister? Your sister is of course older to you, but how different was it?
Oh, she's exceptional.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look outside my family for inspiration.
So she has the same skills?
Yeah. I mean, she's brilliant. It's not even on the same level. Like, she is on another level, I feel. I always looked up to my Akka. I still look up to her. She's been that, person who was good in studies. She is a beautiful dancer. She's a very daring person, very humble at the same time. I mean, she's a very kind person, and she's always been that rock solid support system for me. So I didn't have to look for an inspiration outside, because I have my akka and of course my mother too. And and it was always like, oh, akka tara madbeku, akka has done it, I also want to do it. Yeah,
And that
it
is
was
what it
always
was.
that. Yeah.
So I'm guessing then during school, while these skills were getting developed and the main focus wasn't that, then the main focus is, okay, you know what, let us study well and get on with the life. Was that all it was then?
Study well, how much ever you can.
How much ever you
Yeah,
can.
no pressure. My parents never added any pressure.
And you moved to Bangalore for your engineering, right?
Yeah, before that I was in Alvas,
Yeah,
Mudbitre, for my 11th and 12th.
11th and 12th.
Yeah.
And then the move happened.
Then the move to Bengaluru. No, then I took a year gap to study for IIT. I was in Pune, I was taking coaching,
Wow.
but then I missed it with a mark. But then, yeah,
Damn.
then life pulled me back to Namma Bengaluru.
Namma Bengaluru.
And then it shipped me to Mumbai.
No, wait. But engineering was always a part of the plan, or what was it? No?
It wasn't.
Okay, you chose engineering. Someone made you choose engineering.
No. I chose engineering.
You chose it.
I chose electronics
So
as
then you
well.
considered yourself academically well then. I mean,
I was decent.
okay.
I always considered myself as an averager, and I was like, the world is at the feet of averager. I justified it by this quote. But no, yeah, I mean, I chose engineering, and then I thought, if not a fighter pilot, I can probably join the Army Aviation Wing or anything, because I was in the NCC for 2 years,
Yeah.
and I got my Director General Recommendation Medal as well.
Yeah.
So all of those things, and I came back from my youth exchange program from Sri Lanka. I gave my 12th board exams and everything, and then after that I'm like, I think I'll take Army Aviation or Army Engineering Corps or something to do with
Something
armed
closer to
forces
the
uniform.
forces,
Yeah, something
yeah.
to do with where
Because
I can
that
just
was there. Wow.
Yeah, that was always there.
That's
Yeah.
so crazy how that one serial like just stuck on with you to make your choices.
Yeah, that serial. And I'm a proud Indian, I'm a proud Bharatiya. We all are in my family. So that patriotic heart, we all have that.
Yeah.
And it was always like, no matter what you do, make sure that there's some contribution of yours to country.
Towards the country.
It's very important.
Where did that originate? Because of your dad?
My
Because of
mother,
your grandparents?
my father, my father, both.
And it's just like ingrained in
My
them?
mother was an ABVP.
Okay, that's why. Maybe that's the
And
roots.
and she is a national level athlete as well.
Wow, okay, I wasn't aware about
Yes, that is there. And it's just, Adarsh, it's the pride of wearing your country's, uniform or a flag, or representing India. Like that's a very wonderful
it.
feeling.
Yeah, it's seen even in your content, whether it be the songs you choose or the type of the days. I think recently you released something, right? It was a dance video.
The Bharatnatyam.
Yeah. So I think that is very clear in even on your page or even on your YouTube, that there is this need to represent the country, which is very nice.
Yeah. So coming back to, I always wanted to join, if not a fighter fleet, then I thought I'll join army and aise karke, and then I was like, chalo, we'll take engineering.
Take engineering. So
Yeah.
during engineering, at least now, is the thing there?
No.
Not
No,
even now.
not at all.
Okay.
I didn't even participate in a single fashion show in my college. Can you believe that?
Wow,
I had
okay.
no idea of walking on ramp.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. I was doing my engineering, and then my mom and dad, they saw this ad of Miss India, Femina Miss India.
During engineering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third year end, I think, final year, beginning or so. And then my dad's from Mangaluru, Kasargod, Dakshin Kannada side and everything. They're both very, they have like, their heart is in arts. So they love cinema, music,
Oh, is
dance
it?
and all these things. And ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅವ್ರದೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮುದ್ದು. So my dad is like, oh, my daughter's tall, my daughter's beautiful. My amma is like, you should try for Miss India once. Think of it. It's a beautiful way to represent your country once again. It's a global platform. If you nail it, then you'll be representing India again. You love doing that, right? Why don't you try it?
You want to take your coffee?
I can.
So, yeah, the question is this, right? So, they of course saw this thing and they said, okay, they started dreaming that my daughter can be Miss India. But what did it make you feel? Did you feel like you're capable? Did you feel that's too big a dream to have?
Yes, that was my first response.
Mm.
And that's usually my first response in everything. I need a lot of pumping. And that usually comes from my mother, my father, and my sister. And now I've reached that point in life where I don't need that external validation and pumping. I've worked on myself for that.
You have proof now.
No, not even that. Okay. Now I'll talk about it later. I'm a little detached person anyway, to circumstances and whatever the results are. Now I've reached that point in life. But before then, my mother and father, think about it. It's a wonderful way to represent your country again. Why not? That's a great platform and you have the skills for it. Because before that in NCC, I had a good first-hand experience with media, question answers, obviously Bharatnatyam and Carnatic music, because there's a talent section again. My only question was, okay, I'm good with left, right, left, march past. I don't know how to wear heels. What is a head ramp? What is a mid ramp? I have absolutely no idea about a ramp walk. So my parents are like, what? These days you have,
coaching.
Yeah, and YouTube. Learn. How long will it take for you to learn something new? You'll grasp it fast. Go for it. So I watched Lara Datta's videos. I watched Sushmita's videos because I didn't have a mentor.
Yeah.
And obviously the only reason I went to Mumbai was for auditions. And before that in Bengaluru, I didn't have a mentor. So I researched, Googled.
So just one more question before we go on to that part of the journey. The stereotype will say, how is it that parents who brought up their child in Bhadravati moved to Bangalore? It's almost too orthodox to tell their daughter to become Miss India. Does that stereotype exist? Because it does seem like your parents are not orthodox.
I don't know. Why do we... I don't know. This is a big question because I don't know. Why do we actually relate being orthodox to a small taluk or a small district? It doesn't mean like if I'm from Bhadravati, that means that they're
That's
orthodox
why it's a stereotype.
people.
That's why it's a stereotype.
I always question that.
Mm.
Why? We have a lot of people who have gone into amazing. We have a NASA scientist from Bhadravati. We have someone who works at ISRO. We have directors from Bhadravati. We do have actors as well now and musicians. I really feel like a city would never define you.
Because the other part of that stereotype is also, hey, you know what, I need to protect my daughter. I can't let her go into media. I think she's not safe there, right? And do you at least believe that stereotype exists?
It exists.
Yeah.
Yes, it exists.
Yeah.
My only question is why? Shouldn't be. But I think that's again the belief that my parents have in me and my sister both. And they've always, one is a doctor, one is an actor. They proudly say, now I have like two people serving in whatever way possible. And after a certain point in life, even they believed, and so do I believe, that you have to let your kids fight their own battles. That's how they're going to become strong. You can't always protect them and lead them like holding their finger. All you can do is, all my parents did was, beta fly. Don't be afraid of falling. We'll catch you. We are there. That's the trust you gotta keep in us. But you fly. We'll not help you in pumping the engine. You have to do it yourself. You have to fly. But if at all you feel like falling, we are here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's almost an inspiration. I think if people who do belong to that stereotype, and if they're able to see stories like yours, it's almost an inspiration to break out of that stereotype and believe that it's possible to do it, right? It is possible.
If I can do it, everyone else can do it too.
Yeah. It's the truth. So you're in engineering. This idea has been shared, and now you're like, okay, fine. Maybe I gotta do this. There's no mentor in place, so you're googling, and you're like, okay, I need to head to Mumbai for auditions. So what happens? You get coached. You don't get coached.
I
before
don't
the
get
audition?
coached.
You don't get coached.
I get rejected at the final round of auditions for Miss India.
Oh.
The final round. That is Jan 2014
So
or
what, your
Feb
dad and mom
2014.
came with you to Mumbai?
My mother and my brother came with me to Mumbai. He's my first cousin. He lives in Mumbai. And we went to his place. I got ready. I went to this Bandra market. There was this black dress requirement. I didn't know where to buy it. I went to Bandra Linking Road. I bought my first black dress. And I bought my first pair of heels from Ginger Lifestyle. I can use the brand. And they're still there with me. And those are my luckiest pair of heels. But yeah, I bought them. And I've practiced the walk in it. And I'm like, chalo. Now we are set. Because there were requirements.
How
I
did you
fulfilled
learn?
everything. YouTube, yeah. My mother used to sit and be like, the posture. She used to tell me, straighten your back. Like, back should be straight. Like, look at them. Okay, I was like, okay, let me try it once again. So yeah, she was there. She used to just see YouTube, look at my posture. She's like, maton sati madu. So yeah. I've had support system.
So the auditions happen and the final round doesn't. After
I get
that?
rejected. I come back. Now that is something I can't deal with.
Rejection.
I
or
mean,
rather
in this,
failure.
in the sense, like, see, I knew I was not perfect. I knew that I still needed a lot of hard work on these multiple departments, which is my styling, my makeup and hair, probably my ramp walk. Fitness, I was always fit. I never worried about all those things. Probably the external and the superficial things that actually require for the representation of you overall.
Yeah.
I lacked somewhere and I was aware of it. And I was like, okay, let me work on it. Now I got a hang of what it takes and, to be there in the final round of auditions and how to crack it. So I came back again. And I came back for Miss Diva, which is again like a Miss India's sister pageant, but the winner of it goes to Universe and Supranational. And the same year, like Jan starting, I got rejected. The same year, December, I was judging Miss India Delhi pageant.
Wow.
So that's been like my roller coaster 12 months.
In that single year.
Which
year was this?
2014.
2014.
I got rejected in Jan. I came back for Miss Diva. I won Miss India Supranational.
Yeah.
December 5th, 2014, I won Miss Supranational in Poland.
Yeah.
And December end, I was in the jury for Miss India Delhi.
12 months of...
12 months.
And that was the beginning of everything else.
Yes, that was the beginning of everything else.
So the first time you go to Mumbai and you've lost this final round, even as you led up to the final round, did you personally notice the difference between you and the other participants? Were you lacking something?
Yes.
What was that?
My styling.
Your styling.
My hair, my makeup, probably my ramp walk and all these things. Nuances.
And you could feel that difference?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't lack in Q&A. I didn't lack in fitness. Now, these are the things I had I didn't lack in talent. No, I didn't. But yes, the other factors also, right? So
12 months later, you win this crown. And who's the first person you speak to after you come off stage?
Off stage, they actually pulled me for a media Q&A. Soon after you win the crown, what they do is the organizers and the bouncers, everyone just rushes towards you and they take you for like a media bite, media interaction. It happens so fast and you won't even realize that you're thirsty. You want to sit down for some time because they're like, you're shivering, you have like cold feet, there's a crown on your head, you have to smile, you have to greet people, they're asking questions, people are hugging you, people are kissing you. I'm like, shit, ho kya raha hai yaar? Itni jaldi, what just happened? And we usually keep our phones in our lockers. We keep it in our lockers. We have like 7 different rounds. The phone is in the locker. You actually want to go backstage, get your phone and call your mom and dad.
Mom and dad,
But usually that doesn't happen. The first would be your media bite, and then they take you to meet all the sponsors. And then I went backstage, I grabbed my phone, and I'm like literally like on video call with Amma Appa. A lot of people like from my entire
They were all on video.
yeah, they're all on video call. They're all sitting at in Bhadravati in my house. They're watching the finale online, and my mom's in tears, my dad's in tears. So everybody was happy. I did a video call again with my sister. She was on. She's a doctor.
Yeah.
She was on call that day. But I think all her friends or anyone, they were like, Ax, you take a break. I know it's your sister's finale. You go watch it. We'll deal with it. Yeah. And I spoke to my sister, and then with the Miss India organization, of course, Natasha Grover. I gave a call to everyone, and then we went for the official dinner.
Okay.
With the sponsors and contestants and everyone.
Okay.
And I went back and I didn't sleep the whole night.
You couldn't.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
and I had that crown right there.
So that crown, by the way, they take it back?
Yeah, they take it back.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course they do, right? They can't.
It's a pass-on
It's
crown.
a
You
pass-on
can't
thing.
keep it.
Yeah, but you wish you could keep it, right? Like.
See, again, now that's my personality, the detachment aspect. I know that once a
What
queen,
is this
always a
detachment
queen.
you've been mentioning?
The title stays with you forever. Crown or no crown, you're still Miss Supranational 2014.
Yeah.
You're the first Indian to ever win that said pageant. So crown or no crown, it really doesn't matter because you have to. The title is what that matters.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I happily gave away the crown. I'm like, Mubarako, all the best. Have a fabulous journey. I passed on my crown.
So now you have the title with you. You're of course like being approached by a lot of people, a lot of projects. I don't know. I mean, you're not. Doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't. I mean, I believe that you wake up the next morning and you have like 10 contracts and you want to sign.
No. Probably nowadays. Back then, the Instagram was also like, bustling up. We didn't even have stories when I won. Insta stories were not even a thing back then. And I think we had even videos for 15 seconds. So everything, Facebook was obviously like there, but Insta was still bustling. The social media was not all out. We still relied on a lot of papers for the news to come out, right? Like Bangalore Times covered it, Times of India covered it, all the newspapers. Yes, I have all those newspapers. My mother has it. And so that was the thing.
So what's life beyond that? So now what happens? Now Asha is like, what's Asha's next goal?
The next day again, I have media interviews in Poland. And
no,
then
I'm saying just like not short term but long term. Now how are you looking at your path after winning? No. At that point, you win the title. Has the path changed? Now is it okay? Now is it movies or now is it more brands, more money? What is it?
I don't know. I didn't know back then. Even movies were nowhere. I'll tell you when movies happen. So in that 1 year of pageant, you're supposed to travel, you visit other countries, you do a lot of activities, and it's both. There are like magazine shoots and brand endorsements. At the same time, we also have like social responsibilities. So whatever country we take, whatever their project is, we take it up and we build on it. So we visited a lot of countries. But once you're back to Bombay, then what do?
Yeah.
You just have to sit. So I was just thinking one day, and my other candidates who were there in Bombay, they used to go and give these TV commercial auditions and all these auditions. They used to come back and talk about it in their free time. I was just sitting again. My mom, my dad, my sister.
I think we should probably have them on the interview the next time.
Yes.
Because I feel like they've played such a big role in this.
Absolutely.
Interviewing them. Maybe part 2 is Asha with her parents. That'll be nice to listen to.
Oh, it will be lovely. So again, we're at the dinner table. My parents are like, so what are you doing in your free time? I'm like, I don't know now what to do. I rarely get free time in that 1 year, 14 to 15. But still,
after engineering?
No, it was happening. Engineering took a backseat because my life changed.
Okay, you're not. If you don't want to answer, don't answer. That's okay.
It took a backseat.
Wow. Okay.
From December 5th, 2014 to until next year, which is I think December 6, 2015. I don't remember what has happened exactly in my life in that 1 year. There was a point in time where like, in 1 week I was at 7 different airports. It was that hectic. And my free time, I was telling my parents, okay, what do? I don't like sitting idle. Parents are like, okay, now you're in Bombay. You know, you're a dancer. You've done your theatre. You sing. Why don't you go try, give auditions in your free time? See what feedback you get, na? So I was like, acha, yeah, that I can do. You know, then I started. My first ever audition was Coke audition. I went. There were 200 people standing in the line. Aram Nagar. Mumbai ki garmi.
200
the line. I went
for
like,
an advertisement.
Yes, it was a Coke advertisement. It's a very big deal. But guess what happens? What happens inside? I go. I didn't have manicured nails back then. It was your gale ka and haath ka shot of you drinking Coke, but no face. Only for that they were auditioning. And I'm like, oh my god, what is this? And how do we know what the requirements are? This is fun, yaar. Like, itne der dhoop mein khade hoke, I go inside.
One line is in the sun outside.
Yeah. And then I go inside for a hand shot and gale ka shot. I'm like, oh, teri. I'm like, okay, this is fun. The next ad I went to was a Fanta ad. Now that had lines, that had like for me to enact and everything. I got a script. I'm like, oh, nice. This is like it was fun. And then I think I got my first ad for a jewelry it was my first solo ad, Forever Marked Diamonds.
Wow.
Now that was like an eye opener for me.
Oh, you got it.
I got that.
Wow.
I got that ad in the endorsement for a year. And that ad was shot in a span of 2 days. And that was my first hand experience with the camera and the crew and what happens on a set and who's an AD, who's actually a DOP, what do they actually do, who's a spot boy. With everything.
Did you come across as an amateur at that point or you pulled it off?
With the acting aspect, I rehearsed and everything because there were ADs on set. With the technical aspects of what actually happens on set, I'm like, there are 2-3 cameras, which is my camera. Where am I supposed to look? Am I supposed to look in the camera? Am I not supposed to look in the camera? And at times they used to be like, okay, this is off center. You look here and deliver the dialogue. And the aakhe used to go back to the camera. You know, all these things, the tiny nuances of when you're on set, that I picked it up, that I learned. So then my endorsement came with Yamaha. I was the brand ambassador for Yamaha Fasino because they were also our title sponsors. So I shot 3 ads with them.
That you all shot in Bangalore?
We shot one in Russia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I underestimated the location. Wow, that's amazing.
It was wonderful. We were in Russia for about 7 days, St.
Okay.
Petersburg.
Okay.
That was my first ad shoot abroad. And we worked with, Russian team and our Desi team. That was an ad shoot. Then we shot in Film City, Bombay, other different locations.
So ads started.
Yes,
Ideally,
ads started first.
started. And
Yes.
so what was it? Was the first most exciting thing watching Asha on TV or on a billboard outside? Did billboards happen?
Both happened at the same time.
Both
Yamaha
happened.
had billboards everywhere.
First billboard was Yamaha?
Yes.
Which location?
I think Mumbai. Before you enter the Bandra Worli ceiling, there are these huge billboards.
And
it was
then-
one of them.
So what, you went and stood there and took a picture?
I had no idea. I was sitting in an Uber and I'm like, hey, that's our picture.
What, that actually happens?
Yeah, that actually happens.
Are you not like sent a message saying, hey, this is the billboard where
They
you're...
don't send you messages about there's a billboard on this road. That
I mean,
doesn't
it's
happen.
success for you. They should let you know.
No, that doesn't happen. That, there's a billboard here.
That's sad.
You're just like, hey, that's our picture.
Okay, I'm there.
And then I came to Bengaluru and I think this RT Nagar Yamaha store had one of my pictures, like this huge billboard. And I was like, Arey, wow, this is fun. This is cool. So I felt good. That was my first hand experience.
And
with
what's
billboards.
happening back in Bhadravati at this point? People who know you must be like...
Nammur Hudgi, Nammane Hudgi.
Your photo should be up in like houses. And I mean, you must have become pretty famous at that point with your circle.
More than that, the amount of love that they've showered upon me, I think I'll forever be eternally grateful for that. For them, it was like, ನಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಗಳು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲೇನೋ ಇಷ್ಟೊಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಕ್ರೌನ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಮಿಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. It was a very big deal for them. Yeah? A lot of people had no idea about this career, this path, the film industry, Miss India, like how to win a pageant, what is this crown all about. And I visited a lot of schools after that, starting from my school, St. Charles. And all these young girls were like, Akka, hegakka. You know, that one twinkle in their eyes and that question, Akka, heng madidri? Innocent question.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, damn.
Shit now. And now it becomes your duty, right?
Yes.
Because if you don't feed that inspiration, then you're not completing the circle.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to. And that the first thing being, I didn't have a mentor. I thought I can be that to some other person. Whoever who wants to enter this industry, I made up my mind that I will be that mentor. If somebody will literally like walk up to me and ask how to go about this, I'll tell them how to do it. Because I didn't have it.
But I think there's this beauty about walking without a mentor. I've always felt like some of the most hungry people never had a mentor. And I mean, I don't know how much you believe in energy and the universe. And,
I do.
Right? Because
I do.
I feel like a lot of these things, like even in today's world where opportunities exist almost everywhere, technology has helped you, social media has helped you, you'll still see a lot of people walking by themselves and not being able to find a very good mentor.
Yes.
And I feel that's because
Sorry,
the hunger
my
is
nose is itchy.
not having a mentor, right? And I've thought of it personally myself too. I keep thinking, hey, you know, what if I knew someone very well from the industry, or if I was blessed with a certain amount of wealth, then things would have been much easier for me. But I just feel like some of us have it harder because it's meant to be that way. Because if you didn't have it that way, then you wanting to be that person for the others wouldn't have happened. So I just feel like there was a reason behind
Yes.
you not having that mentor, right?
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. How did Jungli come across?
Me giving auditions to, for ads, for movies and everything. I had this practical deadline. I can say this out loud. I was like, up until I turn 25, I'll try. But how long do I just keep trying?
Deadline given by?
Myself.
Wow. That's not okay. Fine. Let's qualify
Sometimes
that
I
as
talk
a
to
deadline.
myself as a third person, like, Asha, up until 25, you're trying this. If not, be realistic, be practical. You have other ways of making a career for yourself. If movie industry is not the one for you, then you're moving on from that. Okay? So that was my self-talk.
Fine.
So, and Jungli happened. So on my 25th birthday, I was at Shruti Majan's office auditioning for Jungli.
Wow.
And then cut to, after like 2-3 months of auditions, because Chuck Russell is an international Hollywood director.
Yeah.
He's directed The Mask, The Scorpion King. He launched Dwayne Johnson. And I'm like, and I had to literally like work with my co-stars Pooja and Vidyut. We had like screen test, look test, and finally on Diwali I got a call like, hey, welcome on board as Meera for Jungli. I'm like, what? Pinching myself. I'm like, first director Chuck Russell. You're serious? And I loved my role. She was a wildlife blogger. And come on, like I get to live with elephants for 1.5 months and shoot with them. I was
You must have had an amazing time shooting this movie.
I had a blast. So yeah, I was in Bhadravati when I got a call, and I told my
Wow.
for Deepavali I'd come home.
What a Diwali gift.
And my producer Preeti, she calls me up and she's like, hey, Asha, welcome. You got Jungli. You welcome my Meera. So proud of you. Okay, come back soon. Catch the first flight out. I'm like, first flight out? We don't have an airport here.
In Bhadravati.
I'll have to take an Airavata bus, come to Bengaluru, or take a train, and then I'll come. Now we have an airport, by the way.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah,
didn't know
Shimoga
this.
has an airport. We recently inaugurated
started
by
functioning?
Modi ji. It will in a month or so.
Oh, this is amazing.
So, and I told my parents I got it. And back then, after like giving so many auditions and being rejected from most of it, I'm like, movie sikto, ನಾನು ಹೊರಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಬೇಗ. I just told them, movie sikto, ಹೊರಡ್ಬೇಕು. Parents are like, show some happiness on your face. What is this? You've become so stoic. What is like? I'm like, ನೀವು ಖುಷಿ ಪಡಿ. ನನಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಭಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. I can't believe it until I sign it on a paper. I always had, I don't want to jinx it. I want my contract. I want to sign it on paper. Amma, anything can happen. This is film industry. Films get stalled. People get changed for characters. Like you get replaced very fast. Let me sign it on paper. Then I'll be happy. I went back. The contract was drafted and everything. I had a meeting, signed it. Then I went peacefully. I sat on bandstand, watching sunset with a coffee, with a barista coffee in my hand. I'm like, thank you, universe. Now let the journey begin.
Yeah, as I asked this question to someone recently, and I'll ask you this too. You basically came from no background of media, and then you get this, right? Do you get a chance to negotiate your price, or how does it work?
No.
No.
Not for your first film ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the first film always chooses you. You can't choose your first film. Usually it's like that. For most of us who are not from the industry background. If you are from the industry background, when you're getting offers back to back, it's different. You can pick and choose as to I want to do this, I don't want to do this. But with us, that's not the option. Jungly, I was destined to do it. I've met some amazing people and they still happen to be my very best friends.
Wow.
And I've maintained those relationships with everyone. They're still like very tight and rock solid. And yeah, you don't get to negotiate the price for your first film. I didn't get it. I hope in future people do get it.
But that being said, I think the place Bhadravati and your family would have been happier when Robert came through.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It would have been 10x.
Yes.
This is real
100x,
success. Yeah.
100x. Actually, for me also.
Yeah, of course.
I always thought I'll get a Kannada film first.
Because this is a very different like career path, right? Like
Yeah, like I always thought illa bandre Kannada offers first barutte, but that didn't happen in my case. A lot of people here in the media during Robert's promotion, they asked me, "Ma'am, ನೀವು ಯಾಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ?" ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನಾಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳೋದು? ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಸಹ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. So I couldn't. And then I'm like, when I got Robert, when Tarun sir called me, my manager was also on con call. Actually, I was shooting last Jungly bit something in Jan that called, but I didn't have dates back then. Somehow the dates didn't match. And I was like, shit, kashta agbodeno anta. Cut to 4 months later, I got a call back again for Robert, and this time Tarun sir was on the phone. We're talking and he was like, brief ಆಗಿ explain ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, this is the story. Actor ಬಂದು ದರ್ಶನ್ ಸರ್. ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಆಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದು ದರ್ಶನ್ ಸರ್ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಇದು ನೀನು ಶೆಫ್ ಪಾತ್ರ ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ. ಎಂತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಫ್ಟಾಗಿ ಈಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಹ್ಞೂ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಕತೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಐ ಹರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಿ ಟೋಲ್ ಮಿ ಆಲ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ. I was like, okay sir, now ತಿಳಿಸ್ತೀವಿ sir, just give me a day's time. That is usually our protocol. Give us a day's time, we'll get back to you. Cut the call. I picked up a call to Rima. I'm like, you're telling them yes. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. in the morning, you will call them up and tell, I'm doing this cinema. I am doing it no matter what.
It is, I want to do it.
And she's like, yeah, okay, babe. I get it. Oh my God, fine. I'll call them tomorrow and I'll tell them it's a yes. I was like, you have to. Don't forget. This is the first list on your agenda tomorrow. Calling them back, giving them a yes. We're flying to Bengaluru. Let's lock this. And then I called up my parents again. I told him, Bantu, Kannada cinema, Bantu.
It's like everyone's been waiting and this is like...
Amma, chef patra, amma, Darshan sir jote bere. And I had loved Chauka, Tarun sir cinema.
Yeah.
I had full faith in his directional abilities and his work, and obviously there's a star status when it comes to Darshan sir. Yeah. At the same time, there's this wonderful thing that Tarun sir told me, which made me believe that he was like, Asha, you dance tumba chanag ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ, we'll try to bring out that talent of yours also on screen. We really want to. Like, he showed that interest in my character and projecting my talent also on screen, which really made me very happy. I'm like, that's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
I know there's already a big star. It's a big production house. For you to think about a newcomer saying that you chanda
And
dance
then
ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
portray that part of you for your own like career.
And then he gave me Kannu Hodiyakaya.
That is, yeah.
He gave me that
Yeah.
in Shreya's voice.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you have people who support you, and I'm sure he's like.
Yes,
on
yes,
top of
absolutely,
top
absolutely.
of
I thought he
this.
was being very thoughtful and kind. A lot of people don't worry about newcomers that much. ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಒಂದು launch ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Probably, like a lot of people are only idea about, yes, we want to launch a new face. But not a lot of directors will actually care about how do you want to show her on screen.
Yeah.
He took equal interest in the way Amrita looked,
Yeah.
how she spoke, everything else.
And from what I felt, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, in terms of whatever media coverage was there around Jungli or even Robert, let be the interviews or the advertisements, it didn't feel like the male actor was only given importance. And that's the vibe I got from all the media coverage. With both those films, it never felt like Asha was sidelined. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
How did that happen? Because that happens very rarely.
I don't know.
Most of the times in media coverage, it's very clearly seen that, hey, you know what, this male actors, it's only about this. Even in the titles, let it be the songs or the trailers, most places the name exists. Sometimes they don't even mention the name.
Yes.
How do you think that happened?
See, coming to Robert, I can tell you, I clearly remember we were in Hyderabad and obviously Hubballi first because we had that audio launch and everything. And Darshan sir was also like, hey, ನಮ್ಮ ಭಟ್ರನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೊಸಬ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಮಿಂಚಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ. So, when a very senior actor and all of that, for him to actually be like, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು, let her, like, push her for that. And he was like, give her the mic, let her talk, let her do this. I think I had that solid backing from Darshan sir and Tarun sir both. Now that's something I got it from my team, and that's there. And they made sure that I was there in every interview. They made sure that the media got to know about Nodi iವ್ರು ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, she's also that. So they gave me that opportunity as well, and the media was also equally friendly. Very nice, like nammane hudigi, nammur hudigi. I think Darshan sir told that in an interview, and that actually gave another sort of rush as well.
Why the move back to Bengaluru from Mumbai?
Number one, I've been in Bombay for about 10 years now. I was somewhere I was like missing home, and I felt like I have to get back to my roots now. It's high time. Like, I'm over that running around and chasing phase. I was like, nandu anta, namdu anta, like my friends, my family. And predominantly I was like focusing more on Kannada and Telugu cinema both. So because Ori Devda, I was shooting for that.
Yes.
And I was like, let me just put my base as Bengaluru, start Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and whenever an opportunity knocks from Bombay, I'll any day take a flight and go back and shoot. Because I have my team there, so that was
How
fine.
do you learn Telugu, by the way?
I was studying in Alvas, and half of my roomies were like Telugites.
Wow.
So I had like a nice brush up with Telugu back then. And I think if you know Kannada, it's easy to pick up Telugu. And even the lipi is also like same.
Hindi, why did you pick it up?
I took first language Hindi in college.
But we all do, even I did, but
I used to watch Kasauti Zindagi Ki. And Kusum, and Kaisa Hai Pyar Hai, and Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki. All these things.
So Ekta Kapoor needs to get some amount of...
The thing is, my first cousins live in Pune and Mumbai. So every time there was summer holidays, I used to spend a lot of time in Pune and Bombay. And there I picked up Marathi and Hindi. And then I was like, theek hai. I was very selfish in college, like, it's easy to score in Hindi. Let me take first language Hindi. I took first language Hindi. And after that, staying in Bombay for 10 years and then working around with people. See, who do you talk to the most on a set? Your makeup artist, your hairstylist, your ADs, and everybody is talking in Marathi and Hindi. Yeah.
So there's Hindi, there's Telugu, there's Kannada, there's
English.
Marathi, English. Okay, and you're comfortable with these 5 languages.
Comfortable, yes.
You're comfortable. So now
I understand many more languages, but I'm comfortable with
these.
these.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So now is the plan to really get deep into the Kannada film industry? Is that,
I want to.
and that is primary?
I want to. I want to do more movies. At the same time, I want to do movies where I feel like I have some sort of a contribution to it. Just
What
to,
do you mean?
like, something to give for the film. Me as an actor, some aspect of it from my side that should be there.
It should be a integral part. It should not be something where you're just seen.
Yes.
Nice. So here's my thing, right? Now, when you've come this far, especially when you start out small, I believe that a journey like yours will not have you comparing yourself with your counterparts. But do you catch yourself comparing yourself to any counterparts?
No.
Has that always been the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. And I'll say that with utmost confidence. Never done that.
That doesn't matter.
No.
No self-doubt.
What's meant for you will not pass by you. It'll come to you. Just keep working. If it doesn't, then there's something else in the picture. If I had that idea of number one for me, it's go with the flow. Because everything that's happened in my life has been destiny. I didn't want to become an actor. I'm here. I didn't know I could be a Miss India someday. I was there. I always wanted to be a fighter pilot. I didn't become that. But someday if I get to play a role of a fighter pilot, great. Yes, of course. Why not? So life would give... I believe a lot in universe has its own ways. And that'll happen. And you'll make your way out of something. Now you need to have that chala. You'll make it. One way or another. If not now, and everybody's time functions differently. Today it might be an afternoon here. It's night somewhere else. That's the clock. Like you have your own clock. Somebody might make it really big in their early 20s, but somebody might make it big in their early 40s. Yeah, now come on, there's no absolute time frame that 20s to 30s may you have to do. Then you have to become a somebody, and then that's it. No, you're evolving. You're getting to know yourself. You're understanding your strength and weakness. You're exploring life. You're chasing at some point. And then after a point you feel like, nah, chasing is not for me. I'm done. Probably I'll move to something else. All these, it's up to you. And you should never define your success to someone else's journey and be like, if they can do it in their 25, I'm still a nobody in 25. No, that's not true. That should not be your mindset. That should never be the case.
In this journey, have you had times when people have done you wrong?
In the sense?
Like,
define wrong.
Try to come in the way of your success. Try to ensure that a certain opportunity doesn't come towards you or wish wrong for you.
I mean, not directly, because I am not somebody... I would like to believe that I don't have... I've not made enemies. I don't know about Hitashatru. I don't know that. I don't know that. But I'm damn sure that I've intentionally never hurt anybody. And I've not done wrong. But now, as I said, I don't know about Hitashatrus. You would not know. Probably indirectly there have been certain roles which have gone to other people for reasons unknown. And I've never tried to dig deeper into all these things. ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಓಕೆ ಸರಿ.
Has there been any thoughts about a web series? I mean, I'm not asking you to name things, but are you interested in like off the beat independent web series?
Yes.
Yeah, it exists.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
everything is related to art now. It goes out for art in whatever form is fine.
Has it changed now? I mean, initially it used to be the web series and the movie industry. Mainstream actors would not take on a web series, but I think that has changed now, right?
Absolutely.
In fact, the most mainstream actors are okay with doing this. So have auditions started? Has the web series journey already begun? Is it different from the movie industry?
Different in the sense, obviously, regarding the dates, regarding locations, because you'll be shooting episode wise and all of that. Like the technical aspect of it is slightly different than how you shoot movies. As you said, yes, a lot of mainstream actors are actually now doing a lot of series and everything. And I believe both have the equal set of audience. The ones who love the experience of going to a theater and watching the film, they'll always go.
That'll never
It's
die.
not going to stop them from going. Having said that, if they want to re-watch it instead of waiting for a world television premiere, it'll be on OTT and you can rewind and forward and watch it as many times as you want, because now we are having such wonderful platforms for all these things. And I do believe we have equal set of audience for both.
Does Asha quote her price today?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you think you have an upper hand in some of these conversations because of your work now? And how does that make you feel?
I think
Because you started with not having that opportunity or option.
that's the journey for everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
I feel. It's not just Asha Bhat.
Yeah.
You do a movie, you show certain metal probably with your acting prowess or your dancing or something that might be needed for their own project, and they'll ask you for it, and then you can quote your price, and then the negotiations happen, and then if they absolutely want you, then you'll get it. Then you will stick with your price and you'll go for it.
Amazing. Nice to know. What's one thing you don't like about the Indian movie industry? If you could change one thing.
I want people to write more characters for, in the sense, when I look at Indian cinema, if there's a northeastern part being played by somebody, let us take a northeastern girl or a boy for that. We have to integrate north, south, east, west, bring out such characters. Because come on, we are 1.3 billion people. And imagine if 1.3 billion people have their own stories. So much to write. The characterization. I want writers to write more, especially for women. Women characters need to be evolved more and more. Yeah, that's one thing I would like to change.
Lovely. I know you don't want to speak too much about Astra Foundation, but what was the reason of starting that? You can just speak about that.
So while I was training in NCC, I was an NCC cadet. I did my RD parade. I went to youth exchange program in Sri Lanka. We trained in a lot of courses like map reading, shooting, etc. in Sri Lankan Military Academy. We in NCC, I really believe it's important for overall development. I always tell that people just go for it. Your life's gonna change. And there I really understood the idea of, self-defense, protecting yourself, having that awareness. I'm not saying that if 6 people are just going to walk straight up and attack and then you'll be able to defend yourself. No, but awareness as to, you go back home, make sure you've latched it on, or you're walking alone on your street, keep your senses open, know who's following you, what's happening. You go to a club, you don't take drinks from unknown strangers, just be aware of your surroundings. And all these things are an integral part of self-defense and everything. And I went to Supra, I won Supra, I came back. There's this, and the organizers asked me, okay, you want to go back to your hometown and do what? What do you want to do for the society? I'm like, I want to teach self-defense for girl child. Probably starting from high school, 8th until 10th. And not just about fighting in basic of, like those particular areas, if you punch, they're gonna just like collapse. Not in that manner, but a more holistic approach of about awareness, about fitness, about discipline, about a lot of other things. And I went back, which is why I was like, okay, I discussed it with my parents and they're like, let's start a foundation. And now I was like, what should be the name? I was like, something more powerful, Akka. Because, it should be, a powerful name. And then like, okay, Astra. Astra means weapon. What is the weapon for? Weapon to empower, weapon to educate. And you yourself have to become a weapon so that you don't need a weapon. You train yourself to become that weapon. Now that's what Astra stands for. And let's start with that. Let's start small because we don't have that experience. We started from Bhadravati. And then we started growing from there. So it started from basic self-defense, and then by giving
There's
away.
a physical place, there's a center. How does it
No,
work?
we
I mean,
go giving out like these camps and
Okay.
everything. We have these integrated camps and schools,
so you tie
school
up
visits.
with
Yes, we do
schools
that.
and
And then we gave away scholarship. Like education is another aspect which is very close to my parents' heart as well. So we're like, we'll do something regarding education. Let's give away scholarship. So we went to my mother's school. Digital education is something that we focused on because they didn't have laptop, they didn't have computers, absolutely nothing. It was like a Sarkari Patashala, and what we did was we gave, we made sure that there's some digital aspect in place in that school, gave away books, gave scholarship for those bright students below poverty line who've done exceptional in studies and other extracurricular activities as well. Then we started with my dad's school.
wow.
Charity begins at home,
At
they
home.
say.
Yeah.
When you look at your parents, I mean, they've worked so hard, they've made sacrifices, they came from nothing, and it's always nice to go back and give it
They
back.
must
in
also
this-
recognize, they know like
They do.
who's
they
coming
do,
in,
they do.
and
Yes, they
they
did.
must welcome you with like open arms. Like,
Yeah. There are a lot of people who actually came and told my mom, "Oh, Shamla, ಎಷ್ಟೊಳ್ಳೆ ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ಯಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ," and all of that. And my parents felt so proud, I'm like, tears. Yeah, charity begins at home. I think all of us should look inwards before looking outwards first in every aspect of life, not just charity.
there's a lot of help required right around you.
Yes, absolutely. Starting from your parents, always.
So the world speaks about Asha's smile. Everyone who's known you speaks about your smile. Your story speaks about your strength. But I'm not able to understand, is Asha this strong 100% all the time? Because I've spent the last hour with you and all I can see is strength. But when's the last time Asha broke down? Does Asha cry?
Yes, yes, of course.
Because I'm not able to.
I'm not crying right now.
No, I know.
Because you're not making
No,
me
I know.
cry.
Thank God. But it is almost, tough to try and see where does Asha break down, because the whole story is strength. And it's tough to look at you in a place where, do you even have a breakdown?
Yes, I just stand back up on my feet. That's about it. I break down. I cry. And I believe vulnerability is strength. If you're feeling something, you should just feel it. Let it pass through you. Just don't hold it inside. Then you're going to drown in it. I cry. I vent. I have a good set of people who I cry to, or at times alone at home when I feel sad about it. Most of the time I'm very self-critical. I can't do anything about it. It is all self-inflicted as well. All the pain, at times I'm like, I'm too judgmental about my own self. I'm like, why couldn't you do this? You stupid. I start crying. But then my recovery rate is fast. I'm like, okay, done. Yeah, you felt bad. Something happened to you in your life. It's okay. You get back up and you go about in life. That's it. That's resilience, no? And I always say vulnerability is strength. You cry your heart out. It's always good to cry. Detoxifies.
It is. No, the reason I asked you that is usually when there's so much strength portrayed by a personality, right? People end up believing there are no breakdowns and this person is absolutely like untouchable, right?
They're strong because they break down, but they get back up.
Yeah. Is there any...
Broken people are not fragile. That's the irony.
Oh. Is there any inclination towards having a political life for you?
Wow, that's a good question. As of now, no. This very moment sitting right in front of you, or probably no. As of now,
In the future?
Don't know. Anything might happen in the future.
Yeah, because I'm just like thinking about this, right? Because you started early. You explored your talents pretty early. You've chosen an industry that you want to work on, and I'm sure like over the next decade you're going to have your own success path. I have a feeling like maybe your late 40s you'll be contesting for a post somewhere.
I don't
People
know,
might-
Adarsh, as of now,
People
but
might want someone like you to lead some part of this country, and I get that feeling. I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I mean, I'm a proud Bharatiya.
See, even that is there, right? So
But
that's there in the
but-
blood.
Yeah, but I am a Rashtravadi and I say it proudly, like Rashtra Dharma is my Swadharma. I love my country. If people who don't like their country can bash about their country and say it so proudly, I too tell I love my country. I love my mother India. I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm going to contribute in some manner at least. I hope so. I want to. And I hope God will give me that strength to do it someday, or probably today.
Yeah, never know.
But I don't know if
my bet is you'll make it to a place where you'll have some amount of political influence, and our vote is for you.
Thank you.
So, so thank you, Asha. Thank you for coming here. This was amazing. If anything, I think you have inspired me and Aditya today, and I hope everyone who's watching, I'm sure they've been inspired by this too. Any final thoughts to everyone who supported you? If you can look into the camera and give them like one final message, one thing to remember in life.
I don't want to sound preachy, but because this will lead us with the topic what we've spoken earlier, vulnerability is strength. So if you're feeling low in life, don't worry about it. This too shall pass and you'll come out stronger from it. Loads of love. And thank you so much for always supporting me. Lots of love, you guys.
So that was Asha Bhat for y'all on a personal note with Adarsh Sakare. If you're still watching after 1 hour 10 minutes, thank you, and I hope you thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this one. We absolutely did. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.